What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Smoking Jazz Barbecue, and today we're going to be doing a 6+ months on a review on this bad boy right there, the Pit Boss Ausitn XL. This is going to be a review that's going to be two parts, pros and cons, and it's going to be my thoughts and my experience, what I observed so far. So we're going to get started right now. First off, set it and forget it. It really means that you're just setting it and forget it. There's no babysitting whatsoever on the grill. You just gotta check it every now and then, and it's not like a stick burner where you gotta constantly check to see where the temperature is at. That's the beautiful thing about these pellet grills. Alright guys, so the next thing I want to talk about is the shape and the great design this have with the copper color right there that gives very distinctive look. And definitely a great design on it. And also guys, this is the Pit Boss version of 16 gauge steel they use to withstand high temperatures. And also, as you can see by the grates, they are porcelain coated. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is the cooking chamber right there. Believe it or not, this bad boy right here cooks meats fast. When I mean fast, I'm talking about fast. And I've cooked a 15-pound brisket under 6 hours. Now I have cooked pork butts, ribs, and speaking of ribs, I did a 2.5-hour ribs on a 3-2-1 method. In 2.5 hours, guys. And like I said, it doesn't require any babysitting whatsoever. So the next thing I want to talk about is the interior cleaning, how easy it is. And as you can see by the porcelain coated grate, they are wide enough for you to use a wire brush or a wood panel to scrape off any of the debris. And as you can see by the frame broiler main plate, which is the heat deflector plate, it runs in a slope, which allows to catch all the grease that wherever you're cooking to render down, and it runs in a slope in order to catch into this part right here. There's a hole that allows the grease to drip into here. So let's talk about smoking our meats on this Pit Boss Ausitn XL. And as you can see, there's a smoke setting right there, which allows to set it on a smoke setting, and you can smoke your meats for several hours and you will get that great smoke flavor, and also to get that smoke ring that you are looking for on all your meats. So let's talk about the winter conditions with this bad boy right here. It cooked perfectly. What I mean perfectly, it cooked a lot of great meats perfectly. There's some fluctuations of temperatures due to the winter condition from the wind, from the cold. But the beautiful thing about this bad boy right here, the recovery was fast, and it's not like a stick burner where now you got to babysit to get to that particular temperature. Speaking of quick recovery, let's talk about that real quick. So you guys heard the term, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. That's not the same with this bad boy right here. If you set it at 250, it's gonna stay around that mark. Let's talk about the panel that what you see right here. Now here we have the power button, the prime, and the P setting. And we have our two internal meat probes options that you have right here. And here's our temperature settings. And speaking about our panel right here, let's talk about our auto startup and shutdown. And this, guys, you can set this bad boy on 250, 300, or 400 degrees, and it will get to that temperature under 10 minutes. And the shutdown, it's under 10 minutes as well. So this Pit Boss Ausitn XL offers anywhere from 150 Fahrenheit all the way to 475 plus. And as you can see, there's a high option. The beautiful thing about this is right in dead center versus the trigger, it's on this side. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that this particular piece slides back to the left or to the right, and it gives you that flame option to come and sear your meat, such as your burgers or your steaks. Now, As far as cooking space goes, guys, this has about 700 cooking square feet space right here in the chamber. And there's a second shelf that goes on top of here, as you can see by the little slots. It goes in there, and that gives you a total of 1,000 square foot cooking space, which is pretty nice. So this pit boss Ausitn XL can do several things for you. One, it could definitely cook all your meats hot and fast, or smoke it to that particular temperature that you like. And this is made for searing, roasting, smoking, and cooking. You can even bake on this bad boy right here. Alright guys, so let's talk about the meat pros that the pit boss Ausitn XL provides. And these are the two meat pros that came with it. And I'm gonna show you where to plug it in right. And as I stated earlier, guys, this is where you can plug in your meat ports right here, the two ports. And what you simply do, take the opposite end and plug it into here, just like so. And then with this end, there's a hole right there, and you just slide it through, just like so. And then you add it to, you know, whatever meat you're probing at, and just stick it in the middle. Let's talk about the hopper. And this is the window for the hopper, where it allows you to see all the wood pellets that you have in there and how much you got left. This gives you an option without peeking on the top to see how much you got left. Alright guys, so we just talked about all the positive things, which is the pros on this bad boy right here, but let's talk about the cons, and let's talk about what I observed over the last 6+ months and what my experiences are with this that I do not like. There's a disadvantage of the height space from the grate all the way to this dome lid or the roof of this dome. And what I don't like about it is there's not enough space to cook certain things in. I mean, it would be hard to do a big can chicken on here. And using this device, which helps you cook a turkey or a chicken, you don't have that much space left. As you can see, there's probably about 1.5 inches or 2 inches left that you have to play with. Talk about the temperatures that you do have available to smoke or cook in, and the ones you don't have. So let's go from the smoke setting right here that you do have available to smoke all your meats, and then you have your 200, your 225, your 250, but it skips the 275 because some cooking does require 275, such as ribs. And then you have 300, and then you skips the 225 to 350, then skips the 375 to 400, and it skips the 425. But you do have the 450 and 475 and the high available. So that's the only options you do have available, which you know, to me it's a disadvantage because some cooks, some certain type of meats do require a 275 cook. Over here you do not have that option. So speaking of temperature control, let's talk about temperature fluctuations. So on this bad boy right here, sometimes what I've noticed, there is a spike on temperatures, usually by 20 to 30 degrees gap. So for example, if you set it for 250, it might go up to 300, it might go back down to, you know, 225, 200. Depends on the weather, depends on the windy conditions, and depends on your elements that you got going on that day. So here is your interior thermometer for this cooking chamber. It allows to read the temperature inside this cooking chamber right here. And this is going to be the major difference because this thermometer right here does not reflect this thermometer. Sometimes it's off. And what you're reading right here on your panel might not be the same from this particular thermometer. Since we got the cooking chamber open, guys, let's talk about hot spots. Now, all grills had hot spots on each and every single grill. This particular part is the cold part for some odd reason, and I'm gonna tell you why. So for example, this is where the firebox is at, and this is where the flame broiler is at. And being though that we have the heat deflector shield covering it, it dispenses the heat on each end of this pit boss, and this is where my hot spots are at, on the end of each side of this chamber. Now, speaking of hot spots, let's talk about the flame broiler. Now, the flame broiler allows you to sear your burgers, your steaks, or your chicken, or whatsoever. Now, here's what I don't like about it. Being though it has this option, I'm grateful for it, but I don't use it at all. But for those who want to use it, you don't have that much space. That's limited in regards to searing certain things. So you can sear up to maybe 4 burgers, 2 New York strips, 1 ribeye, or 1 T-bone steak. As you can see right there, there's a well forming or a hole forming, and that means that those wood pellets are dropping to the auger, which is a beautiful thing. However, sometimes when you do a long cook like a pork butt or a brisket, that hole, goes further deep in, and then your wood pellets that are here like mountains stay still, and it does not flow all the way down. That's part of the non-gravitational part, that it does not allow all the wood pellets to flow into that well or that hole to feed the auger. Now, the trick that I have learned is to use a paint stick just as so, and just push stuff down, so that way it can feed the auger, correctly and evenly, and then I won't have any issues as far as with a firebox, because the last thing you want is for no pellet woods to feed the auger, and then your cook will stop because it has a automatic turn off switch in this particular pit boss. It has a shelf which allows you to place your sauces, your meats, and whatever else your utensils and whatever else you're going to use to cook your barbecue in. The only thing I don't like about this is that it's on the side, which it does not help me. I'd rather have it in the front. So I wish pit balls will make a model that has a front shelf that allows you to place your meat right here, open the chamber up, and place your meat directly into the pit balls. So guys, since we talked about the hopper earlier, I want to talk about the different brands that you might have optional to use in this pit balls Ausitn XL. Now, I only have used 2 kinds of pellet woods on this bad boy right here. One is the pit balls brand, and 2 is the Traeger brand. Now, I have not used any other brands as far as wood pellet goes, but I spoke to a couple people and researched some of the stuff online, and some people are stating that some other wood pellet brands are not comparable to this bad boy right here. Now, as you can see, if I wanted to replace this particular wood flavor brand or combination, I would have to literally go to the back and remove this part and have this removed for all the wood pellets to exit. Now, that might be easy to some, but to me that's a little time consuming, and I wish there's an easy way to replace your wood flavor. Alright guys, so let's talk about the heat deflector shield plate that we have right there, the flame broiler main plate, and that thing does rust, just to let you know guys. However, that rust does not affect any cooks, does not affect any of your flavors whatsoever in your meats. So let me show you the video real quick. Alright folks, so this is what it looks like inside of the cooking chamber, and this is all nothing but debris from our last few cooks. And to clean that off, guys, what I simply use is just this, a shop vac. So this is the flame broiler main plate, and this is the slider for the flame broiler, and the fire chutes are right here because it's sitting right in top of the firebox. Now, some folks like myself, I do cover it in aluminum foil, but as you can see, it started to rust. It's not a big thing for me because it doesn't affect my cook, and it does not affect the taste of your cooks whatsoever. So guys, let's talk about the assembly on this bad boy right here. Now, I was a one-man crew to assemble this whole entire unit, as you can see. Now, this assembly took me about 2 hours to assemble, and that 2-hour assembly, it was not a easy task to do because this cooking chamber alone is heavy. Now here, as you can see, there's the discoloration, and that started to form within the last couple of months, and I guess that's due to normal wear and tear. So let's talk about the leakage. Now, what I noticed, the leakage does happen on the side and on this side as well, and sometimes it comes out of the back but most noticeably they do come out on the side. Now I could add some gasket on here to seal that up, but I'm just going to keep it as it is. And the last thing I want to talk about, guys, is the meat probe once more, and this is going to be my final con on this. So I wish pit bulls would come out with a smart temperature probe, which means that while you're checking your internal temperatures, it will have an app or some type of device to alert you when your meats are done, or if there's a fluctuation in temperatures or any sort of those things. All right, guys, so that's my cons on this pit bull's Ausitn XL. So here's my final thought. All right, guys, so let's talk about this bad boy right here. Here's my final thoughts on this pit bull's Ausitn XL. Do I think it's worth every penny of the way? Because the sale price at Walmart is $497. I would say absolutely. Go grab one right now, guys. Stop this video, go grab one right now. I think it's worth every penny, and I think it's gonna do you some good as far as adding to your arsenal and as far as your grill goes in your backyard. And definitely it's easy to use. I mean, once you master it, guys, it's gonna be phenomenal. You're gonna produce great barbecue, and this is just my opinion. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my 6+ months review on this, and this is just my thoughts and experience with what I observed over 6+ months of using this bad boy right here. And guys, make sure you check out all the videos that I've done with this bad boy. So guys, if you like grilling and barbecuing, this is your channel right here. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, this is Smoking Jazz Barbecue.